All right. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, Matt. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good. So, welcome to, I guess this is season one, episode one of our Off Trail Market podcast. This should
Yeah,
be an
it's
interesting,
exciting.
interesting adventure and conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Glad to be
Yeah,
here.
we're getting close on getting Off Trail Market off the ground and getting it up and running. Should be launching this to the public here in the coming weeks here, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Matt, describe off-trail market to us and what you're excited about for our new marketplace here.
Yeah, so Off Trail Market is what's essentially a multi vendor marketplace that we've created that really ties into these small, independently owned and startup gear companies who are making products for the outdoor space, things like hunting, hiking, fishing, camping, as well as folks that are making products for apparel and home goods and things like that that just go along with people that do tend to spend a lot of time in the outdoor space. So we've got two primary shops where people can purchase goods. So the
Yeah,
first one we call the gear shop, and that one's really specifically for folks that are out doing things in the outdoors. So freeze dried meals, gear slings for being in the hunting space, camping goods, things like that. Then we've
right.
got the makers market. The makers market is really for apparel, clothing, everyday goods, home goods, things like that that really have a kind of an outdoor feel and an outdoor functionality, if you will. But
Yeah,
again, really more for the everyday space. And then our final shop on the page is what we call the outfitter. And really, the idea here is to be able to tie this all together. So we can take someone who's looking to go out on an adventure. They can really buy everything that they want and need to support that adventure from a gear standpoint, from a clothing and apparel standpoint. But then actually to be able to go online and onto our site here and find an outfitter or a guide or a charter to be able to take somebody on that adventure, to be able to have a great time and to be able to learn from that experience. Again, it's basically a one-stop shop ecosystem that allows us to be able to bring somebody in from a customer standpoint and find everything they need to go out and support their hobbies of being outdoors. But also, just as importantly, it creates an environment for these small gear companies and newly founded businesses to be able to have a place to go sell their products. Because as we were going through this journey
yeah,
ourselves, that was one of the first big hurdles that we ran into, which is, hey, we've got a product that we've created, that we know works, that we've tested, that we enjoy using, but ultimately it's like, how do you take this thing to market, and how do
right.
you find an audience for that product? And so ultimately, as we were creating those products, the idea flipped pretty quickly to the fact that there's not a place like that that currently exists outside of like these TikTok shops or Etsy or things like that, but
Yeah,
nothing that's really dedicated towards the space that you and I really enjoy being in. And so we switched gears a little bit and we just decided to go build the thing.
yeah,
And so
quite a
that's really
bit,
what
right?
we've been
Like,
doing. Yeah.
yeah, it was a whole platform stand up. So we started trying to do some of it ourselves. I got pretty heavily into it and then quickly realized that we want to bring a professional platform out there. So we went back, got some developers, spent several months building this thing. So we've been working
Mhm.
most of 2025 on it. Really excited to launch it here, but there's still a little bit more work to do. But spent a lot of time on it trying to get it right, right? And kind of like you were saying, it's one place, and that's what excites me. And I think the biggest thing is that someone that, might only have a few items or just getting started can go in there, quickly build an entire storefront and actually start selling and have a bigger community like right away. So they can go in there, they have it day one, and then it opens them up to, where everyone else is already selling. And it's just a broader platform. So I think that's really cool. And that's what gets me excited every time we talk to these vendors. So vendors like Bowl and Kettle there and Brett there, or they just jumped right on board and they actually created here. I'll show you here a little bit. But Bowl and Kettle, they have really good packaging. It's freeze dried food that actually has a lot of real food in it, right? It's not just something slapped together. It's like home style food out in the field. And you even went out and tested it in the
Hmm.
field, which is pretty cool. We have a few videos on that. But they tried it for what, 4 or 5 months when they were doing the PCT. So
Yep.
that's where they got started, right? So a lot of these vendors, back to it, is they started in the same place. They had the same story that we had, is they had some product, but they wanted to get out there that really helped them with something that they truly love, right? And then they are able to take it and start marketing it. And I think that's where we play a key role, is getting it more introduced to a bigger community. And then you haven't really talked about the forum yet, but I think that kind of ties it all together, right? So we have the three main marketplaces, but then you also have a forum that you get to go talk about it, share your stories, adventures on, and it's all right there in one platform. So if you have any comments, reviews, anything like that on products or a trip you just took, you throw it right there in that forum. Or if you want to ask questions about maybe a product or a trip, you can do it there as well. So that's pretty cool, and I think that's what brings it all together. So what's your big take from all this, and like what you're really excited for?
Yeah, I'm excited that, we're creating a platform that is, kind of bigger than what you and I really set out to do. I can tell you personally, like I've been unbelievably blessed in my life
Yeah,
with opportunities and just all kinds of things. But, to be able to create a platform that is going to help somebody else to be able to springboard their ideas and their products, and to create an income stream and to find an audience and a community of people that are going to embrace their products and support them and their growth. That to
yeah,
me is really what kind of keeps me going on this project, and that I find the most joy in is really having that opportunity to create something for someone else that's
yeah.
going to potentially change their lives in some meaningful ways, or at least be a small part of their story as they're growing their businesses and creating that foundation for growth into their futures. That's the most exciting part for me by a mile here.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So the way you put it like that, I totally agree. We get to influence on that at least a little bit, right? They're gonna do a lot of it. They've already created everything. We're just that platform that helps them take it to the next level, right? And then they'll eventually might outgrow it, and that's exactly what we want to do.
Yep.
But again, totally on board with that. I think that from us as well is like, hey, let's go do something ourselves. That's where we really started. Is we already had a few things in the works, but then we put it all together and then quickly realized that we needed a platform to do it. But that's what drives me as well, is like getting out of the kind of 9 to 5 or working for someone else. It's something that you truly own, and now we get to
Yeah.
help everyone else do the same thing. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. So products that we've been working with some of these vendors on and learning more
Yeah.
about. So any ones in particular that stand out to you that you've been the most impressed with so far?
Yeah, so I would have to say the bowl and kettle. We've
Yeah,
already mentioned them
that's
here,
good.
but yeah. So the sweet corn grits. I know you have a video on it, but it is
Yep.
tasty, and it
Yeah.
is real food that you can see in there. Like you can see the tomatoes, everything else that are actually
Yeah.
mixed in it when you open the bag, and then just their story from traveling the PCT all the way up.
Yep.
I think they're planning to complete a couple weeks of that here in the next, I think they said in the next
Yeah.
12 months or something like that. But
Yep.
anyways, their
Coming up.
story is awesome. They're great people, and I think they're gonna really grow.
So we've got North Country Gear Works. So that's Dustin, and we've partnered with Dustin,
Yeah,
and he's going to be one of our early adopters here. So his company creates products for saddle hunters, so things to help keep you organized when you're up in a saddle. I had the opportunity to test a few of those out earlier this year, and was fortunate enough to be able to take a doe while using his products, and just the stuff just works. It works really, really well. And he's just been tremendous to work with here. So really excited about that one.
yeah.
And then,
So a little bit about his strap too, though. Like I seen you using it. I actually haven't got up there with it yet, but it's great, convenient, right? It wraps around a multitude of trees that for
mhm,
the width of them. But you don't have to be a saddle hunter. You could be
yeah,
any hunter that's just organized. And that's what makes a difference. When you're out there,
Yeah.
you see a game animal coming through, you need to have the right stuff in the right place, right?
Yeah.
So no, I really enjoyed watching that video and helping put it together. But just seeing it hang in the bag, I think he has a lot of other projects he's working on
Hmm.
too. So to continue growing that, and then Dustin had the same story that we had. So he started out with just a need for it and then adapted it into what it is now, and now is on off-trend market. So glad to have it.
For sure. For sure. So yeah, then I think the one that surprised me the most was a Minto footwear.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. So do you have
they've
yours on you, or
I don't,
here?
but
Let
we've got
me.
a great yeah.
Here, I just have them set in the side right here. So
Yeah.
here's the Memento footwear. Uh,
Yeah.
Matt, you
So
actually
they've
took this up in the tree stand with you as well, because Missouri deer was what, 75 out for opening day
70,
or something.
75 degrees. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I decided I was just going to be comfortable. So
yeah,
I went out in my Amento sandals and climbed up in my saddle with them and was wildly comfortable. But, they've got a new take on sandals. So, if you think about like a hiking boot where they've, the way they do the lacing on them, oftentimes there's like a heel hook that really kind of clamps your foot into the boot so your foot's not sliding around all over the place.
yeah,
And in a way they've kind of redesigned a sandal to have that same type of feature in there through their fast twitch closure system that ultimately allows you to turn a dial on the side of the sandal
yeah. I love
and be
playing
able to
with
just
that thing.
lock that thing in. Yeah. So unlike anything I've seen before, and they're just absolutely fantastic. Those have been really great, and I know we're going to do fantastic whenever we get the site up live here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so Ryan over there has been in the industry like his entire life. That's where he
Yeah.
started. He's worked with all the major brands. So he's been doing it. He's very passionate about it. Getting that sandal out there and actually hiking with it. I've been wearing it around the house. It has a pretty large platform that keeps you very comfortable. And then also you can strap it down in three different areas. I really like a tight shoe, especially if I'm going out on the trail or something like that. Or you can adjust it as like you're going downhill, whatever it may be. But I think they do have something there that's pretty cool, really unique. The turn dial, I know there's a certain word for it, but I just like playing with it. So it
Yeah.
is a cool, and they have got a lot of different colors, a few different sandals out there. So they have something for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. So yeah, I know again we've got several vendors set up already who are going to be
Yeah,
joining us from day one here, and ultimately, we're excited for the launch of our market and really kind of what it's going to mean as it grows. I think you and I would both agree that, for this thing to take off, it's going to need to grow organically.
yeah,
We're not Silicon Valley founders who are going out seeking a bunch of seed money and outside investment and things like that to try and stand up this platform. We've got
correct. Yeah,
something that we genuinely believe in, that ultimately we've been able to stitch together and do so with some of our development partners here. But ultimately, just like you and I are bootstrapping this thing,
yeah, yeah,
and our the partners that we're working with from a vendor standpoint, they're largely doing the same thing. And the
correct.
goal is to really to partner together with our vendors and to make sure that we've got a platform that's incredibly easy to, create your account, create your storefront, upload your products. And then from a customer experience standpoint, to be able to do the same to, make the products easy to find and searchable, to be able to kind of connect those two things together. But at the same time, not bludgeon everybody to death with all these fees because we got to pay back interest on loans and things like that. Like
Yeah,
that's not the path to success here. But ultimately, it's to me, and I think speaking for you maybe a little bit, but again, this is going to be a community effort where we build this thing together, creating feedback loops and things like that, so that we can understand what's going really well, maybe some of the things that aren't going as well as we had hoped, so
yeah.
we can go in, make those adjustments really, really fast, and then get this thing as great as we can get it.
Yeah, I think that community is the biggest thing, and it's our biggest separator, right? That's what makes us unique in our environment. We are in the niche of outdoors, but also we have this community that we are building, and we're working directly with vendors just like ourselves. We are a vendor on the platform, and we know how it is, and we know how tough it is to get out there and start selling some of your first items without huge support. That's what this community is for. And then also, we're going to have these podcasts that we're doing right now. So I know this is episode one, but we're going to have these with all of our vendors, at least the initial vendors, and probably going forward as we go. But we're really excited to get them on here, talk about their stories, and for you to learn even more about them as well. So we're learning about them, communities are learning about them as well, and we're just releasing and letting them share their stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, hopefully a couple more weeks to go. Got a few technical challenges to work through. Got a little cleanup on a few things just to make everything flow as well as we want to. But again, it's looking like early next year we'll be in a position to officially launch. So it's right around the corner.
Yeah, super excited, and yeah, thanks for all your help and
Yeah, you
dedication.
too,
And
buddy.
we've been doing backwoods hunting for a few years now together, and I think this just only grows it. So
Yep,
appreciate it.
for sure. For sure. So all right. Well, great catching up with you this morning.
Yeah, have a good morning, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See you, Dre.
Thanks.